Hi guys, welcome back. So I wanted to make an episode about regaining sovereignty in a world that's chronically online. As I'm sure this is a very well covered topic, but I believe every person can bring a fresh perspective or just something different to a topic, no matter how saturated it may be online. I have some notes on this. Where do I want to start? So I'm going to start with realizing our attention is our currency, and these big companies are draining us of it, making the money. Some of us should be on a wage with how much we spend, how much time we spend online. I think that's funny. Like, some of us are honestly consuming so much stuff, staying on these websites for so long. We should be getting paid a wage, like at least minimum wage. Do you know what I'm saying? Because our energy is sacred. It is so sacred and divine and important, and I find that it's so easy to get sucked in to being back online, like chronically online, because of course the algorithm is showing me all the things I want to see. And a lot of the things I want to see are beautiful, they're artistic, they're spiritual, they're to do with music, whether that's performance or production or whatever, or just like crate digging or whatever it may be. So it's like things that in real life deeply, deeply interest me, of course, that's the point of the algorithm. But the issue with it is I'm not there making the music. Obviously I do, but like I'm not there making that song. I'm not there digging through those crates. I'm not there doing the spiritual practice. I'm not there painting. And while I do all these things, while I'm sitting and staring at these pixels on a screen, it's almost as if my brain thinks it's there. Like it gets sort of like the dopamine hit of it being there, but my soul doesn't get the satisfaction and the deep peace that it would bring if it was actually me doing these things. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a very weird feeling, because that's so addictive. It's like, well, I could just sit here and feel like I'm just living so many different timelines, doing all the things that I love. That's what makes it so addictive. Another note I've got here is mistaking likes for connection. So, see, it could be just as simple as like you post something and people like it. Yeah, but I would even go as far to say as like the support that we see online is interesting, because how much energy does it actually take for someone to be like as much as that's cool and it's always appreciated, if you actually think about it, it's such a mindless thing, and people like so many things during the day that like will be quickly forgotten by them, because they're on to the next thing, the next piece of short form content that we're telling ourselves is art. So I feel like it doesn't feel so valuable, because everyone's liking everything without really looking at it or understanding it. We just like scroll. And so when you receive a like, it's kind of like, it literally is the second you see it, it's like a little, and then you're like, where's the next one though? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you need the constant stream in order to be satisfied. Like, you never get to a point where you're like, oh yeah, cool, I'm happy with that. You always need another one. And it's like, it's so short-lived. The dopamine from it is so short-lived. It literally lasts not even a second, I would say. For me, at least. So I just, I try and avoid, like, I'm guilty of it. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice to be like, oh, cool, someone like that, that's nice. But yeah, it's not real. It's not the same as someone coming over to you in the street and being like, giving you a real well thought compliment while they look into your eyes and like acknowledge you as a full person rather than just like someone who creates. And of course, there are a lot of people online who like things, who genuinely fuck with the artist, fuck with the musician, fuck with whoever created whatever it is. And that is just their way of showing support. And then they'll also go along and message the person and be like, yo, this meant so much to me. And that's a beautiful thing. And I want to just add that in there as a way of reminding you that it's not all bleak out here. And like there is good things about this. So yeah, cheap dopamine versus slow dopamine. So like I'm actually a long form content sort of person. I know that there are people out there that are, but I feel like for the most part, a lot of people I know don't have the attention span to sit and watch like a 30 minute to an hour long video. Most people need to be grabbed in like, what is it? They did science or something, and like 3 seconds, you got to grab them. And like, it's got to keep changing and grabbing people. And as much as I fully appreciate people doing what they've got to do to get to where they want to be, you know, I really respect learning what works on social media and going for it. That's not my issue. But my issue is with the fact that our brains used to like really, really delight in slow learning. And our primary source of information for a long time was books. And yeah, we would read books, like black and white, words, no photos a lot of the time, just straight up black and white words. And we could literally just sit for hours and read this book. There wouldn't be ding, there wouldn't be vibrate this, there wouldn't be ring, ring, ring. There wouldn't be anything trying to draw us away from it. There wouldn't be the nagging thought in our heads going, oh my gosh, this isn't quick enough, this isn't interesting enough, this isn't grabbing me. Like, we would just read the book because our brains were able to concentrate for prolonged periods of time. And then, what was it? Like, maybe the radio came, and obviously, like, yeah, that's a little bit quicker, a little bit more exciting, a little bit dopamine inducing. And then obviously TV. And yeah, I feel like once we started watching TVs and things, that's where we really started to be like, I don't know, our attention spans, I think, really started to take a hit there. And it's just progressed rapidly. And it's not slowing down anytime soon. So like, what can we do about this? Because I could go on and on about the negatives, and there's a lot more. And I've been chatting to my partner about tonight. I've just been kind of whiling, just bugging about this. But I wanna just bring back some positivity to the topic, because firstly, we all know that the digital realm can be an amazing space. It's been an incredible space for me in my journey of self-discovery, of learning skills so that I can progress in my career, that I can create more things. Really, yeah, improving my skill set in general in whatever area that may be. And that's sick. Obviously, that's an amazing thing. Like, meeting cool people that I wouldn't otherwise have the chance to meet is a beautiful thing. Some things we can do to counter this are try and like touch the earth more than we touch screens. And like, for me, that's a crazy concept, because I'm an outdoors person. I love to be outdoors, but at the same time, the amount of screen time that I actually have is kind of crazy, and it doesn't even feel like it in the day. And then I get to the end of the day and I try and think of the things that I've done And I've been out and I've read and I've done what I needed to do, but at the same time, every other waking minute, a lot of the time, is just on my laptop, on my phone, filling the gaps with music, with a podcast, with a video. Do you know what I mean? And the gaps are a scary place to be. Like, these gaps, I think it would be kind of fair to say that as a society, we have become frightened of the pauses between the noise that our screens emit. And probably because in those spaces between the stimulation, we're forced to face ourselves and the things that we are running from. And I mean, that is, there's obviously more nuance to it than that, but I want to just say, quite black and white, that's probably a big reason we're all so, like, chronically online. Do you know what I mean? There's almost an addiction to figuring it out, to getting the answer for this now, for improving myself so much to the point where I'm not even living anymore. Like, and then I need so much information to do that. And guess what? It's right at my fingertips any time and night of day. Like, it's just too easy. It's way too easy to run from yourself now. I really wonder how I would have coped, like, before there was like so many ways to run from myself. Like, how would I have coped? I don't know if I would have. No, I would have though. Because if it wasn't so easy to run from myself, I would have developed better coping mechanisms and strategies. And so then when the screens were removed and I was sitting and I was looking at myself, I don't think it would be so scary, because that would just be common practice. That would be a normal thing. A couple more notes. Just to remember that we are creators. We're born creators. We weren't born to consume. We weren't born to, like, sit staring at screens. We weren't born to, like, be able to see so many people all the time. Again, any time of day or night. Like, it's not, I saw a video somewhere where they were like, it's not natural to see so many beautiful people all the time. Like, you know how it is. Everyone's self-confidence is fucked. And a big part of that is because we're just peppered with, like, the most beautiful people we've ever seen in the world, 24 hours a day. And I believe, like, I think this is probably a whole other topic for another video. Kind of had an idea, but, it's not natural for, like, your partner to log online and see a billion of the most beautiful people in the world, and then start to be like, maybe there's more to life. And, like, yeah, just so many elements of social media definitely really mess with comparison, and, like, they make it way too easy to compare ourselves in so many ways. Like, for me, a big thing is visually, like, how I look. That's been, like, one of my big struggles, but I know for a lot of people it's what these people have. Like, where they're at in their career, their relationship that they're posting online that looks perfect, but we're not seeing what's behind closed doors, etc. So I think that's another part of it. It's just too easy to compare yourself, and we all know that. That's common knowledge by now. But balance consumption with more creation. So, like, say you've spent an hour watching a vlog. Cool. Did you enjoy it? Amazing. Brilliant. Did you maybe get some cool ideas, or you saw something they were doing in the video and you thought, oh, that'd be fun? Instead of then just going on to the next video, maybe while you're watching, take notes. What have they done in the video that you felt, oh, that's really cool? Write it down, because instead of just like mindlessly consuming just to pass the time, which, okay, is also good sometimes, but really within moderation. Imagine if you just used this content, these videos, these people's lives and stuff that you're drawn to as indicators of things that you want to do, indicators of things that you want to try. I think that would be a really beautiful thing to do. So I wanted to leave it on a question. Oh no, one more thing. Rediscover lost joys or find new ones. When we're kids, we've got all these things that excite us, and like, I think it's important to either tap back into the things we loved when we were young, or to find new things that we love, try things, experiment, explore, and figure out, what lights us up. And then, I did want to leave it on a question. What did I write? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I liked this. So, what is it you're hoping to find from being online you could give yourself in the real world? A lot of the time when we're online, chronically online, we're hoping for different things. Sometimes it's connection, and we think that being on Instagram or something and seeing what people are up to is going to fill that void of connection. And it's nice to stay in touch with your friends and know what they're up to. Like, that's a nice thing. But what if you just called them up and said, yo, I've not been on Instagram, so I don't know what you've been up to. Can we meet up and you can tell me about it? How fucking nice would that be if someone called you up saying that? Or what if your friend messaged you yo, what's your home address? Okay, this would have to be a good friend, not just some random person. They need to be your homie. But what's your home address? I want to write you a letter. Things like that are just so meaningful. And that's not to take away from online connections, because it's a beautiful thing and it's so sick that we can be there for each other in different time zones and whatever, and maintain relationships even living apart. But analog is the OG and will remain the OG. And I think we need to really respect what worked for so long before we came here and just took things to a whole new level, that maybe we didn't need to take it to. The letters, love letters. Are you taking the piss? Yeah, love letters. Calling someone, just normal calling someone and just chatting for time, and then going and meeting them. Yeah, these things bring me joy. So the question again, what is it you're hoping to find online that you could give yourself in the real world? And I'm really curious. I'm going to ask myself this question once I stop filming. And maybe I'll write it in the description, the answer that I come up with. But I think I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.